Hey, everybody. Welcome to one of the craziest editions of the Owner's Box in history. I'm Billy Koch, founder and managing partner of Little Red Feather Racing Club. Joining me from Saudi, Michelle Yu, who is on the phone, and we hear background noise.
Look,
There's all kinds of stuff going on.
Yes.
What is happening?
I'm at a hotel. Okay, so there's like no internet service, so I have to be in like a hotel lobby. So whatever comes by, comes by.
Yeah, well, that happens. We have a great guest today. Sonny, how do you say his last name, Michelle?
Pais.
Pais. Sonny Pais is here from the recently retired Brickyard Ride, who is one of the most fun horses we've had on the Southern California circuit. He's also a big owner, a lot of Calbreds. We're going to talk to Sonny right now. Michelle, bring him in.
All right, let's bring him in.
I love the little delay. Hey, Sonny.
How you doing?
Thanks so much for joining us today. Really, really appreciate it.
I feel like that's like the WWE. I don't feel like Cody Rhodes. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah. No, we want to talk about. There's a spirit that we want to talk about horse ownership. Is that? Okay. Do you know anything about that?
I might know a little.
You've been in this game for a long. You've been in this game for a long time. We can run off a lot of horses, and we specifically want to talk to you about the retirement of Brickyard Ride. But before we do, just give us a little background information on how you got started in this industry.
Yeah, I was thinking, I was thinking how long I've been in this business. And, after a while, you can't tell if you're winning and losing. Your skin has got like leather, because you're so used to the ups and downs of the sport. But, I got involved out of high school. My dad had harness horses. So I went to a little farm, get out of trouble. And, I started in with them, and then I was there for quite a while. And then the industry kind of went a little dead in California. So if you didn't move back to New York, you'd had to switch. So I think Barry Abrams and a few of us moved over to the thoroughbreds.
Oh, nice. Yeah, well, Barry Abrams, obviously one of my favorite people, and had so many great memories with Barry. When did you start owning on your own and really kind of putting a foothold on Southern California racing?
Well, if we start, I think the first horse I bought was a harness horse. I think it was the last year of Bay Meadows. So wow. I think that was like 1973 or something. I trained this horse, and I think I started him against winners. He was a maiden and he won. But I bought that horse for $1. I think I worked on him for 6 months, and after a while, the light just went on, and I just kind of like, damn, that horse knows what I'm thinking, and I know what he's thinking. It's kind of pretty bizarre, but that was like my first experience, kind of more of training horses. But then when I switched to the thoroughbreds, let me think. I think I started with, I had a horse with a Al Bayhuth from the harness, and we had a nice horse, but it was I know Russell Bays worked the horse. He said, Sonny, this horse is going to win like 3 races in a row. And he's showing me his hands, and he says, look, I had to hold her so hard. And I go, okay. So she I don't know, something got in her feet, but she died. So that kind of threw me off a little bit. So then I switched over to Jason Orman, because my other buddy left the business, or not Jason, but Mike Orman, his dad.
Yeah. And
I had some nice horses, really nice horses, out of from, I think there was a liquidation sale, but you know how that goes. A day later, $1 short, you miss the ones that sell for millions of dollars, because they're always selling for 30. But and you lease the ones you don't have. It's always like, I never had enough money at the right time. You know how it goes. Everyone knows how that goes.
That's pretty much my life story, Sonny.
Yeah.
So
join the club. That is my life story for sure.
I know all about that. Don't be shy.
By the time you figure it out, you're trying to be such a nice guy. I go, why didn't I take care? It's like, why didn't I buy that piece of property for myself? Why did I, But anyways, long story short, it just was. I was at Hollywood Park. It was pretty nice because I lived in Santa Monica, so I could go to the track every day. And I had a relationship with Richie Baltus and Tony Garcia, who I'm probably going to get back with Richie, but I'm back with Tony all the way back when we were together with Barry Abrams at Hollywood Park and stuff. So, it was pretty nice driving to Santa Monica and you could work on the horses. Then I got hooked up with Leo, kind of got going with him, pal, and we got a horse from Europe that turned out pretty good. I kind of messed up a little bit because I was still green, but probably should have sold. But I turned a bad negative, a bad loss back, and I don't know how I did. I got my money back through breeding on her, so that worked out.
That happens.
It doesn't happen that often.
No, it doesn't. You know what? It's funny, Sonny, because I tell people all the time, listen, I talk to people constantly through our partnership with Little Red Feather about, people getting into the game, new people constantly. And I always tell them the truth, which is this is a very difficult game. And it's a very, very difficult game to make money in. And if you're doing it for that, you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Right.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're right. 100%. I mean, we all have ideas. You have to have a reason for doing something. But after you have your reason, you need a lot of luck. So if you don't have luck, or you don't, sometimes I look at a mare to buy, and I might buy her cheap, but there's something about her. Maybe she looks like she has some class. But whatever the reason, it's almost because of circumstances. Right place, right time, and you just got to get lucky. So, but it's like anything else in life. If you have enough bad luck, maybe it'll turn around and you have a little good luck. So take advantage of it.
Go ahead, Michelle.
Sonny, when you're breeding horses, do you ever sell anything that you breed, or do you always race back what you've bred?
Actually, recently, I usually just hold on to them, and I'm more of a buyer than a seller. In fact, I tell guys that are sellers in Kentucky, why didn't you call me on that horse? You're a seller. You're not gonna. You're not. Just trust me. Call me if you. No. There's recently I had a horse out of one of my better mares. And I think she was about 12. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go down and send her to not this time, because it was around 47,000. I said, you know what? If I'm ever going to do it, now's the time. So I did it, brought her back to California. And I got some calls from, Kentucky going, Sonny, that horse is, he's about 6 months old. I think we might be able to get like 300,000 for him. I said, wow, what am I going to do? I got,
holy cannoli.
So I said, and I guess a new owner of mine, a doctor, I got hooked up, really great guy. And he overheard me, he said, Sonny, I'll take half that horse for 150. I said, what? Do you know how many hurdles we got to get over?
No way.
So I said, so that was like one of the first ones I sold. So he helped me, to hold on to the horse, because I really didn't want to, you do it for, I understand, if I was trying to make money in this business, I wouldn't do things the way I'm doing, because I just realized, it's like.
I gotta say too, you say you try to find those ways to make money. I feel like a lot of your horses that we see, you race them a long time. You're not like hey, let's send them right after the breeding shed, or do something else. Like you always are patient and whatnot. So how do you kind of reconcile your patience and your extended careers with this make money mentality that so many people in racing have?
I just hope my income can carry, can keep feeding them. That's all. If I break even, I'm happy, because what else am I going to do? My dad didn't take me to the golf course. He took me to the racetrack. What am I supposed to say?
My dad didn't take me to a golf course either, Sonny, and I've just recently picked up golf after 54 years. My son started playing, and now I'm all of a sudden
boring.
Obsessed. Like, it's so insane. Like, so you don't know golf, for you?
I played a little golf early with friends, but then, it's a kind of a sport. If you want to get really good, you got to play a lot,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Let's dive right into it. Michelle, you have a question. I know it's hard because
I have a question. I see. Well, Sonny's talking about his hobbies. One of his hobbies is he likes to come to the track a lot, and he comes in the mornings. What do you like better, being there in the morning and watching everything, or being there in the afternoon?
I kind of, I like being in the morning myself, because it's like therapy to me, and I like being around the horses. So, and I'm kind of a hands-on, owner. And at the end of the day, for me, like you were saying about before, I have patience. Well, you have to have patience in this sport. I mean, I had that horse that won the other day, Big Coop. Yep. He was basically for 2 years, and I brought him back. So, you can't, you do try to do everything right for the horse. You listen to the horse, and these horses, it's like they write a book. You take it chapter by chapter. So, of course, while they're racing, I'm watching how they're running and what they're learning, so I can figure out with my trainer, does this make sense? Does that make sense? And, you go by a lot of things in this business. It's not just one thing. It's the breeding. It's the numbers. It's whatever. But, it's just like it's a game I'm in. And, it's sad because, I mean, to be honest, if I was 35 years old instead of twice that age, I would think, you got to kind of, where am I here today? And what do I got going in the future? And it's based on, your age a little bit, so
That makes a lot of sense. We got Sonny Pais joining us here on the Owner's Box. I just brought up the Equibase PPs for Brickyard Ride, and I have
How many pages did you have to go through for him?
Well, first of all, there's a couple incredible things. First of all, Sonny, this horse ran 10th first time out in a maiden special weight at Del Mar in 2019. And for people who just listening to this, his second start as a 2-year-old was for 50.
Do you want to hear? Do you want to hear the real? Do you want to tell you guys the real story? I don't know if I should tell you.
Yes, we want the real story. That's why you're here.
All right. Well, when we got him in, I had his, brothers and half brothers and whatever out of that same mare, and they always had a little problem with their knee. So right away, I was on top of that problem. Right. So even before he raced, I was, we were working on that. I was doing my thing with my, certain devices I had and everything. So, but it still was a little surprising that he kept going as long as he did, as fast as he was going on the front end. And he actually, even after, I remember we ran him in that, we were waiting 2 or 3 months to run him in the starter allowance. And it never, he was kind of fresh. And we finally kind of got coaxed it into going on the mile on the turf. And it kind of was it sprinkled that day. And I was just like, please, God, help it so he comes out of this in one piece. That was all I could think about. I said, why didn't they switch to the dirt? He was really fresher. Should have wanted to sprint him once before we 2-turned him. And he actually, went over the fence that day.
Yeah, so he was do not finish. He went over the fence that day. I remember it now.
I mean, he might have won that race. Who knows? But, it was kind of, I had to go through another deal of problems and stuff. But, he overcame it. But we also found he had a bit of a flapper that was paralyzed, and right then, and that's why we probably put him in for I think I had him in for 50, but I was going, should I put him in a 50 claimer? And Craig says, let's see and wait and see how he goes, right? So that's sometimes, I think that's why when the guys tried to, the jockeys tried to take a hold, he kind of didn't like it. So that's why we decided to develop his style. And maybe that's why I didn't go 2 turns earlier, which I really want to do. And maybe there's always things that you wish you had done that you never have the time. Like I wanted to go more on the grass, going 2 turns with him, but but he didn't do bad considering he never had a lot of. He had some good times, but he didn't have luck on his side when he was at his best because they dig up the track at Del Mar for the Bing Crosby. Instead of winning the race, you lose by a length and a half, and those are the things that you can't control. So you got to be lucky in this sport. It's not about having the best horse sometimes, but it's about having the best horse on the right day in the right spot,
And he did earn 9. Yeah, I mean, he was lucky enough to earn over $925,000. So I think he was, he might not have been the luckiest horse, but he was pretty damn good.
How crazy is that, though, to win almost $1 million with him?
And they asked me, Sonny, why didn't you take him here? Why didn't you take him there for fast tracks and big? I said, well, we took him to Los Angeles. You didn't like that. So why am I going to, you know what I mean? People don't know the real story sometimes,
Right. But it sounds like you're very involved, Sonny, and people in the sport do different things as owners. Sometimes they let their trainers decide. Obviously, sometimes there's a group decision. You seem like you're making a lot of decisions. True?
Well, I don't like to make the decisions unless it's based on information. And that's why I got a trainer. I want to ask the trainer, what's your opinion? Right. I don't study the condition book like a lot of owners. I let the trainer tell me. And I have good relationships with my trainers. So, I think it makes a difference.
Yeah, exactly. Who are you using nowadays? What's your stable of trainers? I know obviously Craig Lewis,
Leo, and Antonio Garcia.
And I even have a horse with John Cortez because he's a friend of mine. And I've had horses with Joe Deegan back in Kentucky. And who else? I think I'm going to I've always wanted to get back with Richie. So now that he's back, I'm probably going to end up, I'm trying to push Richie to do a little thing for me. So
good redemption story. But Sonny, when we first started talking, did you say you were training the horses though?
Well, those are harness horses though.
Yeah. But you're still training horses. I mean,
I was kind of training them without a license, because no
one else. Okay. Sorry. We don't want to get you in trouble.
Well, no, that was, back 1970. I think it's okay.
But wait, can we really quickly touch back on Clubhouse Ride and just kind of like, I want to know your favorite race that he ran, and I want to know what you're doing with him.
You mean Brickyard Ride?
Brickyard Ride.
Yeah.
What did I say? Clubhouse Ride.
I think
sorry,
really
yeah, Brickyard Ride. Sorry.
Another because when you said that, I thought you were going to bring up the other horse. You had a little interest, Tony said, on Curlin's Chaos.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah, because he said.
Oh my God, I did not put 2 and 2 together. Yes, after this is an interesting story. So after that, I had really liked that horse when he ran the first time down at Delmar, and then when he won the other day at Santa Anita, before he ran him in the stake, I called Tony and I said, "Hey, I'd love to just buy a piece of this horse, maybe a leg, maybe we could do a part." I didn't even really put 2 and 2 together. That was you, Sonny. And he just said, and he didn't even call me back. I was
what's funny is I know, John Liviak is pretty good from the harness days. I'm 50 years ago, so we used to hang out. We even shared a hotel room. That's when, he didn't have, back before, he's still waiting for his money to come in, put it that way. So, but he became a pretty good bloodstock person, breeder. And he told me about it. He says, "Sonny, if you're going to if you want to get a mare in Kentucky, you should look at this Curlin out of a Giant Causeway mare. I don't think I can get her for less than 50 grand." So I sent Joe there. I said, "If you get her for 30, get her." So I guess this was the last bid for 30, but that's how we got that mare that Curlin's
from Curlin's Chaos. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is funny, Michelle. So, and I see Tony at the track. I'm like, "Buddy, you never even called me back." He's like, "Yeah, the owner said no." I was like, "Okay, but
that's another story. That's me, my buddy. Hey, you want to get a piece of this mare? I think we might get lucky, So he goes, "Well, I got this partner." I go, "All right, bring him in. We'll take a third. I go, and after a while, the partner left, and now I go, "How did I end up with only 40% and he has 60?" You know what I mean? I was going, but
that doesn't sound like a good deal. That's not my kind of deal. Let's just be honest.
But it's
I was coming in for real, just an interest in the horse. I've known Tony for a long time, obviously, but but that is interesting, and there's such a different landscape, I call it right now. I'm constantly looking for private purchases. You are more the breeding angle, keeping these horses, correct? And that's just where you've fallen into. You don't buy a lot of private purchases.
Well, I just recently bought one in Europe. An Irish bred. He ran the other day, but I'm not sure. Sometimes when they have to ship, and we had him shipped into Kentucky, and they didn't use the race on the turf, and for some reason they didn't use any races on the turf, so we had to bring him to California. I think he was just a May foal, 2-year-old. So all the shipping, who knows? They get ulcers, they do this, they do that. But I still have a lot of hope for him. I think he ran the other day. He didn't run that good, but I think I hope his future is good too, because the guy that bought half the horse, I got involved in that horse because I really thought he was a nice horse.
Yeah, gotcha.
I think Nitty, his name is, so we'll see how he goes.
Oh yeah, I remember him. I know Michelle had one more question, follow up on Sonny. Like, where does Brickyard Ride go now?
Well, right now I got him at where Tony he manages a little bit that farm at Bradbury Farms. Sure. So I know Jose's there, and these guys, they I know that he's in good hands. So I got him up there for as long as I'm not thinking about breeding him until next year, because I think what's important. If you want to stand a horse, especially, you got to see how the climate is, number one, in California. I've had a lot of interest in him in California, but I've actually talked to people I know, and, I know that Joe Taylor, and I know guys, I might call a few more people about if it makes most sense to what to do and how to do it. But I think it does make sense to try to get as many quality mares to him as possible the first year. So I just want to keep him, get him better, get him sound, get him healthy, and then start him in next year after I got all the information. And Tony's father-in-law has experience, Mick Ruiz. So I'll try to figure it out.
I mean, it's smart to wait, because even though you were in time for breeding season this year, like you said, most mares are already booked to someone and committed, and it'd be last minute. He hasn't done any testing. I mean, this is the best way to go about it, really.
Yeah, and like I said, I know Bradbury is like 5 minutes away, basically 5 miles away, so I can go there whenever I'm here and give him some carrots, check him out. Actually, I got Curlin's Chaos.
I want to go see him at the farm.
Oh yeah, anytime. Actually, I got Curlin's Chaos over there in a nice 24x24. I went up to him the other day. I think he went. Usually comes right up to me, and he kind of went in the corner and says, you're not going to send me another 13 hours and put me in a little stall. I said, hey, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're good.
He didn't like that trip to Sunland. He didn't
Well,
like
you
that.
know, actually, I thought he'd handle it pretty good, and he did. I think that what hurt him in that race more than anything was the inside post he drew, because that he wasn't where you need to be on that track, you know. So, but that's what sometimes there's so many hurdles to get over. Just because he shipped good and he likes the surface, you still have to draw the right post, you know, against who you're.
No. Absolutely.
I thought it made sense to me. I was willing to. I figured if Tony's willing to drive all the way there, then I guess I'll send him. You know what I mean? Or my partner.
I'm sure Tony was in the van with him. He probably drove him in.
They took the winner with them. There was a 2-horse van, so Diamante was along for the ride. Yeah. I think we came back by ourselves. So.
Oh, that's good stuff, Sonny. Let me ask you a question, because you've been in this game for so long. You've seen so many changes over the years, and you know that California, let's be honest, we're not the greatest situation in the world. How do we turn things around here especially in Southern California, where Michelle and I work a lot? But you know, look, Northern California too. What do we do in California with horse racing?
I'll tell you one thing. First of all, you can't ever in life. When expenses are going up, you know, hey, purses should go up, not the other way around. You know, and California is compared to other places. I mean, if you even look at the purse structure, per stakes and stuff from years back, they were higher. So I'm just saying, you know, I think there's, you know, horsemen have never really got together. Even the harness, it just seems like, I don't know if they don't look past their nose, but at the end of the day, you know, we are in California. It's pretty, you know, liberal state, and you know, the other states back east do have advantages. And you know, HISA, I understand what they're trying to do, protect the horses, but maybe there's some middle ground to kind of help us to, because, you know, when you look at the fields, it gets smaller and smaller, and it's not even at the end of the winter meet. What's it going to be like at the end of the meet? I mean, Del Mar, you know, is obviously more horses, is, you know, it's a little different story, but I don't know. You know, I think people have to like put their heads together and see, you know, we're trying to protect horses, but there's more to it and how to do it. Maybe like Lasix. I don't know. I understand a little bit why they do it, but why do they let horses run on Lasix and they don't let them run it, you know, in stakes races? And what are you trying to do? Ruin a good horse? I mean, you know, I mean, I guess they're trying to make everybody. I get the reasons, but even down the hill, to me, if you asked famous trainers, they think the best place to start a horse is down the hill. They think it's safer, but they don't want to put horses down the hill claiming races and this and that. So, I mean, Barry used to start all his maidens down the hill, or most of them. You remember?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Barry
multiple days in a row sometimes.
Every week.
Well,
exactly. He was a little different.
Yeah, that's one time I told Barry, I said, Barry, you know, that horse ran really hard. She won a couple races in a row. Why don't you give her a little time off, put her in the pen like I did with Chaos? She goes, no, I'm getting her out of here, but I'm sending her to New York. It's like, what?
Typical Barry. Barry. Sonny,
well, he's the hardest horse guy.
He's the best. Before we let you go, let's say there's a new owner out there watching the show on YouTube or listening to the show on a podcast station. What's your number one advice to say to someone that's looking to get into horse ownership?
I think in horses, just like in life, just make sure you pick the people you want to be around wisely. And you know, because, you know, like anything else, I think you don't need a lot of friends, but you need to have friends in the horse business. You can't have too many friends in the horse business, put it that way.
That's great. That's great advice. Sonny, continued success. We will look after a Brickyard Ride. I will send you some mares that you might need to buy. And I will continue. Now that I have you on here, I'm going to call you directly when I want to buy one of your horses.
Now Billy's got his phone number.
I'm in trouble.
You are in trouble. Well, no, because I'm used to hearing nobody, so don't even worry about it. But we appreciate you taking the time today. Thank you very much, and continued success.
Okay, no problem. Nice talking to you guys.
All right,
thank you, Sonny.
All right, bye now.
Owner's Box. And Michelle, always a good time talking to Sonny. Very knowledgeable.
He's so great, wasn't he? Yeah, he was lovely.
Yeah. He was lovely.
I actually got to know him a lot because I was working at Del Mar doing the works for XB, and he was up there all the time. So we, just got chatty.
Yeah, no, Chatty is right. I mean, he was really good, had some good stories. Man, bringing up Barry Abrams, that just like touches my heart. People know how much we
Yeah, I
love
was gonna
Barry.
say Billy's heart is full now.
Oh yeah, and I just miss that guy. And he was very, Barry was a great horseman and just a different guy. He just,
Yeah.
I remember when he entered a horse that hadn't run yet, like at Hollywood Park. Like it was incredible. Like the horse hadn't run yet, but they were taking entries for the next day or
And he
something. And
entered it
Barry,
again as a maiden or
yeah,
something, right?
yes,
Or
like, it
winner.
was
Yeah, I remember
wild.
that.
It was wild. Just the best. Just he was the best guy. He's dearly missed. But thank you, Sonny. That was a fun interview and great to get another perspective and great to find out about Brickyard Ride because that horse had a lot of fans, Michelle.
Yeah, he's cool.
Tell us a little bit about what's going on in Saudi and then what's coming up this weekend at Santa Anita.
What's coming up this weekend at Santa Anita? I don't know because I'm not there.
I know, but you have the rundown. You always do your Santa Anita thing. Well,
yeah, but Billy, let me tell you what, there has been like no internet here. It has been such a nightmare trying to get anything done. I'm having like major problems.
With all the money they have that they can't do,
they just, it's just not like, it's not like a 5G area. So, so coming up on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there obviously is racing at the Great Race Place. It's Big Cap Day on Saturday, March 2nd. So keep that on your calendars. And so we have that coming up here, obviously in Saudi. It's going to be the Saudi Cup this weekend. And it's a really deep, contentious field. We did the post position draw tonight. I don't know what time we're going to post this, but where I am right now, we just finished.
Can you give us like a secret thing? Because we're not doing this till tomorrow. No one's going to see this. So it's fine.
I don't have any secret things.
Well, who drew what?
You didn't watch it at all?
I did not watch. I was driving down here to talk to you.
Oh, I don't. White Abario drew the rail.
Oh,
National Treasure and Hoist the Gold, I believe, drew like 7 and 8.
Okay.
Who else?
Who's your pick?
I remember a senior.
I
don't have one yet. I don't have one yet.
I want to go over a couple of things with Santa Anita while you look up. We have the Coast to Coast Pick 5 every weekend, the Pick'em contest every weekend with an $18,000 prize pool. We have Showviver, free admission Fridays. Gates open 12:30. It'll be beautiful weather Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Michelle, it has been pouring here once again, but thankfully
I know. Sorry for you guys.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. When are you back?
I come back Sunday.
Okay. Well, we'll see you on Sunday. Is there anything else we missed that we need to talk about? No, we're going to let you go back.
Yes, I have to go. It is like midnight over here.
Go get some rest. Get some sleep. We miss you. We love you. Michelle, you always the best here on the Owner's Box, part of In the Money Media Network. We will see you next week when Michelle gets back. We'll have a full report from Saudi. And I'm going for White Abario. I know maybe he's the favorite, but I like the story. I like Emily Ellingsworth. I'm rooting for Rick Dutrow. So let's go White Abario.
All right. Go White Abario for you. I'll let you know who my pick is.
Okay, let us know. Go on the site. Go on the World Wide Web. Goodbye, everybody.